Many years ago, when I came into work at the California State Prison, I had the creepiest day ever. It goes down as the creepiest day ever in the history of my 22 years working at a state prison. It was early in the morning. It was still dark outside. And I just remember there was more administration than I had ever seen everywhere, all over, everywhere. The administration was just buzzing. They looked like they were having the worst anxiety attack ever. Obviously, something had gone insanely wrong. My first thought was that someone escaped or something. But so I walk in and watching everyone buzz around, and as I walk up the hill, every single light in the institution is on, and they're supposedly still sleeping, but no inmates are sleeping. All lights are on. There's people buzzing, staff buzzing everywhere, yet at the same time there's this like quiet seriousness. Everyone's serious. Everyone's talking serious. No one's laughing. No one's smiling. There's no small talk. And I said, "What happened?" As I went through the gate, the officer said, "There was a death last night." I'm like, yikes. What happened? I don't remember what he told me. But someone died. An inmate died. As I walk up to the building where I work, there's just mattresses just stacked everywhere. Mattresses. I'd never seen mattresses so many stacked outside, like everywhere. And what had happened is this building that I worked in that was 9 stories high about. Remember, it was dorm 109. An inmate we don't know if he jumped or he was pushed out of a window and fell to his death. It maybe wasn't 9 stories. I'm thinking that because it was 109, 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 4 or 5 stories. It was really, really, really high. Let's just say that. An extremely tall building. There was 2 dorms on each floor. So, 101 was all by itself. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that was about 5, 6 stories. Very high building. And in the restrooms, they shared a community restroom. It was really large, full of toilets and community shower. In the community shower, there was this little tiny skinny window above the shower, way up high, that you can't get to unless you are standing on something or someone's lifting you up. This little window doesn't even look big enough to me for a human to go through it. However, a human went through that little itty-bitty window up in the shower. At that time, there were no screens on those little because they probably didn't think anyone was going to do that. Still to this day, I don't know if he was pushed, like if he was made to jump up there and jump out. Did he choose to jump out the window? He obviously had help. You can't get up there by yourself. I don't even think if you had a stool, you need people to help you out that window. It was so high. I don't know what his background was. I don't remember who he was, but it really presses on my heart. It was the creepiest day. The feeling and the quiet, the eerie quietness, and I got to see the spot where that guy, he'd already been cleaned up, but the spot where he fell to his death, and underneath, it was on a parking lot, was down below, and there was a curb, where cars parked in the maintenance yard, And just to see, although it was cleaned up, you could still see the splatter, of his guts, and all over the stain of the splatter, like, is just forever on my memory. And just the whole incident was extremely eerie, extremely sad. I don't know. I don't know who he was, what he did. Maybe he was, it could be he was a chomo. Well, hey, had that coming. That could happen in state prison. If they find out you're a chomo, you sexually molested kids, you're dead. And I can't say I don't disagree with that. Sorry, God. God's the judge. I know. But they don't get better. They don't heal, that's what America says, right? God can heal anything, but that's out of my scope. I don't know. I don't do well with that category. But that was the creepiest day ever of my prison career, and maybe you think it would be like a lot more dramatic, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but I did my best to describe it to you. But it was so eerie just knowing, like, that he jumped that high. And I think, what was he thinking? What were the circumstances? What was he doing? I don't know. I don't know if the prison even knows anymore. If anyone knows, let me know. I'm just curious. I don't need to know, but there's something about that was so creepy. And it just drove it home that prison is not a place you want to be. You know it. And don't let anyone ever take your freedom away. You know it, because I know at that prison there's one officer to 100 guys. And a lot of those guys are really, really sick. If they decide you did something or you got something coming and you don't, it don't matter. You know what? It's not a safe place. It's a horrible place. And I'm pretty amazed that I worked there for 22 years. It wasn't my plan, but it taught me a lot. And taught me a lot about what not to do. Because, I don't know. I didn't have the best life. I didn't have the easiest life. By the grace of God, I didn't end up on that side of the bars. And I could have. So, that was the creepiest day of my life in state prison. You never know what you're walking into. Be careful what you walk into. And, yeah. Nothing's worth dying over. Taking your own life, anyhow. Nothing's worth taking your freedom. So don't end up in a place like that. I love you guys.